Okay, today I'm going to go over the practice internal arches, right? Hopefully you had a chance to go over and read all the questions, right? So what was asked for you to do is sketch the graph, give the equation, give each of the equation, okay? Describe the feature and transformation, okay? So if you read all these details, you should be able to find out that this value is 35, 15. 35, 15 over here. That point is 60. This point is 120, 30, okay, 180. And this one is one type of a graph, following by another type of graph, and this is the third graph. Okay, so you need to come up with 3 different equations, right? But the first function, I gave you the tip last time. Always start with a trig function, so you don't have to worry about the horizontal translation, B. Right, so this is a trig function. Since it's starting from 0 going up, and it should come down and going down like this. This should be my sine graph, right? And by looking at my third one, which is definitely parabola. So therefore, if this is parabola, if this is sine, what does this need to be? Yeah, it should be a cubic, going up, going down like this. Okay, so there you go. I let my first one to be trig, cubic, and my third one to be parabola. Okay, so say this is my exam booklet where you write the answers. I would normally write down the coordinate like this, so I know which point exactly they are. Right, the first one I'll say graph 1, which is sine graph. I'm going to indicate what my graph 1 is and what the equation would be. So it's going to be sine graph. And from here, it's only from there to there. And then it was cut, chunk. I only could see this part of my graph, which is from there to there, from only this part. But when I'm sketching it, yeah, I need to draw the full graph, right? Okay, so since the first quarter was up to 35 and 15, I know that my amplitude is 15 and my quarter is 35. So if I double 35, that's going to be 70. If I double 70, that's going to be 140. Correct? It's going up by 35, so that should be 105. Amplitude is 15, so from the midline to the minimum value, that should be negative 15. Okay, when you are sketching it, people, you don't need to scale them, just you need to indicate all the values and points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. One full cycle, at least. Okay? Right, so this is my transformation equation. A represents amplitude. B is 360 divided by the cycle. C, horizontal translation, which we're not going to worry about. And D is the midline. There you go. So A, amplitude 15. B, 360 divided by the period, 140, which is that. If you can put it in fraction, please do so. C, there should be no horizontal translation, so 0. And D, the midline is at, 0. There you go. So that should be my equation. So yes, I showed all the working. Here's my equation. Here's my sketch. Okay. So what else do I need? I need to write the features. So features, domain, and range. I need to look at the real curve that was given from the practice internal, okay, from the question. Domain was, I'm looking at my first graph from there to there. Domain is from 0 to 35. My domain is from 0 to 35, close bracket. Range, let's have a look. Okay, you're looking at the lowest point to the highest point, which is from 0 all the way up to 35. There you go. Yeah, with a close bracket. X-intercept, Y-intercept, people. Point of inflection, point symmetry. Okay, all these ones are from your sketch. Okay, and you can find these 2 points from your graph or using the graphic calculator. But let's have a look at the graph I've drawn. Okay, so x-intercept is this one, and that one. 0, 70, 140. People, you need to write that in coordinate. There you go, for one cycle. They're the 3 points. Y-intercept was 0, 0. There you go, 0, 0, y-intercept. Point of inflection. Okay, point of inflection. People, since it's going to go sine graph, if you extend it, it's going to go on and on and on to the right and left. So there should be many point of inflection. So this could be your point of inflection. That, everything can be your point of inflection. But in that cycle, at this point, if you rotate it, it's going to remain the same. So I'm going to say 70, 0, 70, 0, okay, 70, 0, right? But if you indicated all the other points, more than one, that's fine. But you should write 70, 0. Okay, symmetry. In this case, it's point symmetry about at a point, right? It's not the line symmetry, remember? Okay, but at this point, this is the only POI where the curvation, the point where the curvation changes in the cycle. So, yeah, point of inflection at, I'm going to record 70, 0. Okay, you need to keep this value. However, you can add a few more, that's fine. Okay, but you need to have this one. Right, point symmetry about, this is point symmetry, not line symmetry. Remember, because at this point, if you rotate it, okay, it goes back to the same curve. So therefore, this should be the curve. However, same as I explained, sine graph goes infinitely to the right and left. So all these values can be the point symmetry. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the one in the middle in that cycle that I drew. So I'm going to say point symmetry about is that 70, 0 point. Okay, so there you go. You should be able to write all the features. Okay, sketch them. You don't have to scale them. You need to show all the working and coming up with the equation. Right, what's the left? What's remaining? There you go, the translation. Sorry about my handwriting. You have to start with the graph of y equals sine x, the original function. Okay, you need to start with that and explain. Did it move horizontally or vertically? Right? Has not been, if you don't have any horizontal vertical, you don't need to write it. I just wrote it so you don't forget about it. What about the period? Okay, the period, it's not 360, it's 140, so it has decreased, right? Okay, so, but the new period of the graph is now 140. It's better to write that it has been reduced from 360 to 140. Okay, and amplitude is 15. Remember, the amplitude is 15. What's a normal amplitude for the sine graph? Yep, it's 1. So instead of just saying that, it's better to say its amplitude has increased from 1 to 15. okay, then that's going to be the better answer. Right, so that's how you need to write the answer for the first equation. Right, I only have done from there to there. Okay, but you need to do all these for one graph. Alright, then I'm going to do the same with this part, cubic. It's going through 2 points, 35, 15 and 16, 0. Okay, right, if I think about it, that's going to be the POI, isn't it? POI coming down, POI going up. Okay, so this point should be my B and C, B with the opposite sign, C with the same sign, and that one is my linking point with the next graph, right? So this, using this, okay, you should be able to find out the A value. Okay, there you go. Graph 2, cubic, I indicated, and I drew the sketch. Sketch needs to go through x-intercept and the y-intercept always and indicate all the points. Alright, and another important point is POI. So those 2 points that we already knew, so that will be my B and C, that will be x and y in order to find the A value of the equation. Okay, so there you go. That's my translated equation. B, okay, opposite sign, so negative 35, negative 35. C will be the same sign, 15. Right, what's next? I'm going to insert this one, this value 60, 0. I always write it in coordinate first, so it's easy to know which one is B, C, which one is X and Y. Right, instead of 60, I'm going to put it in, instead of X, I'm going to put it 60. Instead of Y, I'm going to put 0. Okay, and you should know how to calculate all these. Right? Okay, always do whatever inside the bracket first. Times it 3 times or cube it. There you go. Always put it in fraction. Fraction is always the best answer. That's my A. People check that you get negative value because it's going down, right? So A value should come out as negative. So there you go. Please tick yourself if you got the right answer. Right, what's next? Right, the feature and the transformation. Remember, domain and the range, that's from the real curve that was given. Okay, this part. So it's the domain is from 35 to 60 inside the square bracket. And also the range is from 0 to 15, right? There you go. Okay, so features. How do you know these 2 points? You are going to substitute the equation on the graphics calculator, G-solve, then find the x-intercept, which is root, or the y-intercept. Okay, it's going to give you the exact point. You need to write that down. And remember to put the y value in here. Okay, and x-intercept, y-intercept that you calculated from the calculator. And people, it's cubic, so it should have point of inflection and point symmetry. And those 2 should be the same point. There you go. Yeah, and people transformation, again, start with the graph of la da da da. Right, if it hasn't been reflected, you don't need to write it, but has been reflected through the x-axis, right? Because it's a negative. The A value was negative. Remember, so it has been reflected through the x-axis, tick, and it has been translated 35 meters. We know the unit in the according to the context, right? 35 to the right and 15 upwards. 35 to the right, 15 upwards, right? Okay, and graph has been stretched by the scale factor of, that's A value, right? Without the sign, because sign, negative sign, we already use it in here. That has been reflected. And there you go. That's just a value. Right, so that's my answer for the second graph cubic. You need to sketch it with all the axes points. Okay, remember it should go through the x-axis and the y-axis. You need to indicate them. Right, you need to show how you calculated the a value, domain and range, features, transformation. Okay, and the last one, what is it? Yes, it's upside down parabola. It's a sad curve parabola passing those 2 points, and in the middle, okay, you should be able to find this value out if it's not given, because 60, 180, you should be able to find out the middle value, which is 120. Okay, so 120 and 30, because it's symmetric parabola. Right, so graph 3, parabola, there you go. I drew the sketch. I didn't draw up till there, but I extended. It's negative 90. Okay, please make sure it crosses both of your x-axis and your y-axis. It doesn't need to be scale. Okay, the graph just needs to look symmetrical and pretty, which is a parabola looking shape, right? Okay, so that is my equation. What's my B and C? Yes, it's going to be my vertex. That's going to be my B if I change the sign, C. So as you see, change sign, negative 120 plus 30. Okay, now how can I find out the A value? I'm going to pick a point, which is, I'm just going to pick this one because it's easier to calculate. I'm going to sub 60 0 in it. Instead of x, I'm going to put 60. Instead of y, I'm going to put 0. And do all the calculation. Yes, I get a negative value for the A, which is correct because it's upside down parabola. There you go. And that's going to be my final solution. Okay, I suggest you to write down as a fraction. If you press FD or SD in your calculator, it should be able to convert it into fraction for you from decimal. Okay, what's left? Features, domain and range from the curve. Okay, the real question from the sheet. Okay, look at this one. So domain is from the least, the lowest, highest, the width, 60 to 180, close the bracket, square bracket, and lowest point 0, highest point 30 for your range. There you go, we all agree. Okay, those ones you can easily find it out from the graphics calculator. Please don't forget to indicate negative 90 in your sketch. Okay, it's line symmetry, because line symmetry means if you draw the line at x equals 120, you can fold it at that line. Left hand side, right hand side should be symmetric, right? So it's a line symmetry through x equals 120, and the turning point or vertex is the maximum value of the graph. Likewise, transformation, talk about the reflection, okay, translation, horizontal, vertical translation, talk about in units, okay, in context, and that's the A value. The stretch is the A value without the sign, because the sign has been used up there, so that has to be without the sign. Okay, so there you go. That's the answer for my third one. Okay, right, so we tried Archer's practice internal one. We only tried the part 1, so I hope this helped. Okay, so if you struggled, please have a re-go at it, because part 1 will give you achieve to merit, and this is very important. If you cannot do this, you cannot go up to excellence. So try this over and over again until you get it. Okay? Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.